I call Brett Hudson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise in opposition to the Official Information Parliamentary Under-Secretaries Amendment Bill. And look, some people have tried to talk a lot about the Official Information Act itself, but I'd rather focus, sir, on the specifics of this bill, because it seeks to do some very specific things. It doesn't seek to amend the entire OIA. So I refer back to what the sponsoring member raised, because he made points about what he said the bill would achieve and the problems he articulated it would address. Well, the points I'll make are three. First of all, when he speaks to what it will achieve, he's quite frankly flat out wrong. When he talks about the problem, he spent over half his speech articulating the problems that it was to address. His bill will not, cannot address the problems he raised. Thirdly, Mr Speaker, it is simply unnecessary because the mechanisms exist today to get the information that the opposition members might want from an Under-Secretary. So first of all, let's look at why what it would do is quite frankly wrong. Mr Rurewhai said to us that this would provide greater scrutiny and accountability of the executive. It's going to give greater accountability of the executive, Mr Speaker, except for one small but rather substantial or important issue, and that is that parliamentary Under-Secretaries are not members of the Executive Council. This bill does nothing at all to address accountability of the executive. What it does do, Mr Speaker, is it undermines the distinction between the executive and Parliament. That's what they're looking to do. That's what that member's looking to do. He's looking to undermine the distinction between the executive government, the Executive Council and this Parliament, these members of Parliament. Secondly, Mr Adrian spent more than half of his speech, Mr Speaker, talking about the issue of ministers delaying responses to OIAs and clocks being reset and information being difficult to get hold of. But we on this side actually dispute that. We're not accepting his proposition that that is a real issue. But even if we were just to be charitable for a moment and permit that possibility, there is nothing in this bill that by simply extending the processes as they exist today to include Under-Secretaries that's going to address a single point of the problems he articulated. This bill does nothing to actually address what the sponsoring member raised. The third point is it's unnecessary. As Mr Seymour pointed out himself, Under-Secretaries are not decision makers. They take all of their powers or all of their activities from the minister that they are responsible to. Members opposite, if they wish to scrutinise the work of the ministry or the work the Under-Secretary may have been delegated, they can do so through questions to the minister that the Under-Secretary is responsible for. So the bill doesn't do what the member says it is, it won't fix the problems the member actually addressed, and it's unnecessary in the first place. But what is more, it's actually another Labor flip-flop, because as we know on this side, Helen Clark used the very processes and the very situation we have in 2002 when she appointed 2 Under-Secretaries, neither of which were subject to questioning through the Official Information Act. Well, Dover Samuels was one. You might remember him. He had a little hotel incident. So here we have the Labor Party flip-flopping from the Cabinet manual under Helen Clark, and just a few days ago they turned their back on her when she talked about the need for a New Zealand government to be part of free trade agreements to improve prosperity for New Zealanders. I tell you what, this Labor caucus, compared to the previous Labor governments, just a series of flip-flops. More flip-flops than a busy beach in summertime. That's a dad, thank you very much.
David Bennett.
But I think it gives us an opportunity, given we've got a bill that doesn't do what it says it is, it's not going to fix the problem it is, we should question the motives of what this bill's about. And I heard Ms Dyson throughout Ms Dowie's speech saying, what are you protecting him from? I think a very clear reference, Mr Speaker, as Mr Mitchell said, this bill isn't about OIA scrutiny of Under-Secretaries, it's about trying to attack Mr Seymour. Well, I tell you what, this opposition don't learn much. They're very slow learners. I'm not here to sit in judgment on Mr Seymour, but very clearly, if they think they can win by attacking Mr Seymour in this House, they've got another think coming, Mr Speaker. And I oppose this bill, and I call upon all members on this side to oppose it. Thank you.